gone through the drug scene, experimenting with drugs and everything, and unfortunately you tend to get stuck in a rut with that, but the seeking was there through the drugs. I started to get involved with hatha yoga, macrobiotics, all experimenting with many different things. I'd say sort of during a period of 10 years, it gradually got to the point where I read in a book the words about self-realisation, becoming one with the whole and things like that. And the word self-realisation, I thought, well, that's what I want. But I thought, well, I'm never going to get it. But something happened. I suddenly knew that there was God. And I think the only thing it must have been that Shri Mataji's attention was on the area where I was living, because about 2 weeks later, Shri Mataji went there to the grammar school, the girls' grammar school, and that's where I went. But something happened. I just knew there was God, because before I just wasn't sure and all that. And the desire was there, but I thought, well, I'll never get it. And then in the local paper, there was this photograph of Shri Mataji, self-realisation towards, seekers of truth. I thought, wow, that's what I want, I was quite messed up with all these things that I'd done, and it came to the big night of where the programme was. It was a Thursday night, 26th of July 1979, and I was into all this health foods and everything, so much so that it just got more and more extreme, where I used to have sacks of music. And I just thought, I'll just have a few nuts from the muesli. So I had a few of these nuts, and then I thought, I'll just have a few more. And the next thing, I was just ramming, I think the negativity knew it was going to go, and I was just ramming all this dry muesli, just loads of it, and I found myself rammed in this sack, and I suddenly thought, what am I doing? It's out of control, and I realised it was time to go, and I literally had to just walk down the hill. Talk about seek and you shall find. So I just had to walk down the hill to where this school was, where Shri Mataji was, and as I was walking down the hill, it was all expanding, my stomach and everything. And I think there was about 60 people there. I just felt intense heat and masses of sweat, and thought, what's all this about? A cool breeze, and then lots and lots of pain. And Shri Mataji got up, and she used to work on everybody. She'd go right into the audience and communicate. But she passed me and went on to the next person. I thought, didn't think too much of it, but I was really in a lot of pain. And then I think near enough everybody had gone. I was the only person left, and I had a group of Saj Yogis working on me, and I was sitting there, and this pain in my back was just getting so bad. And suddenly I was whacked right where the pain was, and then I knew that the person could feel it. It was like my first taste of collective consciousness. I thought, they know that it's there. And then it moved to another spot, and then they whacked that, and that really impressed me, And I was suddenly aware that everybody had gone except for me, and they said, come back. It was Tony Panayottu's place. Shri Mataji was going there, and I was going, no. And then in the end, they talked me into going. And it was just a small terraced house, and loads and loads of people, and someone was rubbing Shri Mataji's feet, and I thought, well, what's all this about? And immediately Shri Mataji, she got them to stop, and somebody at Shri Mataji's feet got up and moved away, and they was going to me, and I was going, and they was going, and I was going. And in the end, I went over, and then Shri Mataji was as big as a mountain. That's how I remember her in the beginning, and she was just massive. And said, hello, how are you? And I said, I'm all right, and everything and anything I said, people didn't really have a lot of discrimination then. They laughed at every single thing I said. And my mum had gone crazy at that time, and my dad was going crazy because she was going crazy, and it was like the whole thing had turned round. The son was sort of sorting the parents out, sort of thing, and I knew that everyone said, you know, I just recognised her instantly, but here I didn't have a clue what was going on, but here, you know, the heart just knew she was, and I knew that she was the one I could tell anything to, and I said, I've got this terrible pain in my back, and she got me to turn around, and she was putting her hand all over my back. And then someone came in with a huge plate of meat and chips and everything, and I was horrified. I thought, oh my God, she eats meat and chips, you know, chips, you know, because I was going through all this macrobiotic stuff, you know. And she said, I've got to stop now, and I was really upset that she was, you know, I felt like a child wrenched away from its mother, you know, and that was my first meeting, you know, that was, you know, sort of condensed version, really. You know. But I remember how big, huge, you know, she just looked like a mountain to me at the time, you know.